Welcome back to our channel. You have stumbled upon Far Out Tiny Homes, and this is video 2 of a 2-part series. So if you have not watched Tiny Home Communities episode 1, you might want to sneak back. So this is just an update on some more communities I have found, but nonetheless, I am putting these out there so you all can understand that we in the tiny home movement and community are not restricted. So let's get down into it. Now, like in the video before, I'm going to cover some basic amenities up front. But first, who am I? Okay, hi, my name is Jillian Wise. I'm the founder of Far Out Tiny Homes. This channel brings you all sorts of things tiny, from tiny home tours to like all the relevant up-to-date information out there. We talk everything tiny. If you have tiny home questions, leave them in the comments. Now, if you like tiny homes, might you consider subscribing? Maybe let's hit that 500 mark of subscribers before the end of the year. That'd be super, super rad. We bring you content every Tuesday and Thursday. Anywho, let's get down into it because I know you're here to talk communities. Now rewind, back to what I was saying before. So basically, every tiny home community across the board is gonna have some of these same basic amenities. Most of them are going to be a 30 or 50 amp hookup, and you are gonna need to have that exterior plug to plug with the electrical cord, and that's how you're gonna wire in your house. It's basically like a standard RV resort hookup. Now I will say that I'm fairly confident that none of these are going to allow you to hardwire in, except for the ones that are on a permanent foundation. We're gonna get into that, and I'm gonna make sure I kind of let that be known before we talk too much about that community. Also, most of the rents are including sewage, water, lot rent, garbage. Some of them include a cable, and I didn't find any that said that they included internet, which is kind of a bummer. I'd rather have internet over cable, but you know, whatever. But that's pretty cool. So let's get down into it. So just keep that in mind. And now the ones that have just different amenities, I'm gonna list them, but like whatever, let's go. We're gonna start in Oregon, my home state. After I posted the first communities video, I had quite a few people in Oregon reach out and say, hey, wait a minute, you forgot about us, or you know, we're here, we're there. Okay, so I'm going to say there are a lot of places to stay in Oregon. There's not just that one community in Waldport on the coast that I spoke of last video. But a lot of these places that did contact me, they don't have a Facebook page, they don't have a website. And so honestly, until those communities can get more of a digital presence, I'm going to leave them out because I don't know how organized they are. And I'd hate to lead anyone astray. So if you are that community and you're watching and you're like, oh, poop on you, like I get it, dude, but like get yourself a website so other people can share your information and you can really help push this movement forward. So let's begin. The first place we're going is Mount Hood Village RV. And I have my little book here, and so I'm just going to be referring to it as we walk through this. So it's the Encore RV Resort at Thousand Trails. And I actually did call in and speak with the manager there, and they do include the water, sewer, garbage, cable. This was like the most expensive one that I found with the monthly rate. $725 to $800 a month. And they do have reduced rates available for folks that want to stay over 4 months time. So they have like your nightly, your weekly, your monthly, and then if you decide to sign a longer lease or you decide on a longer stay, then you can start to fluctuate with those prices. But that is where they're going to start. Now, while there is no specific certification needed for your tiny home, they do want you to have insurance, and you have to have your registration up to date. So you can't be like rogue rolling in with expired tags. Like you got to be legit. And so that's it. So that's in Mount Hood. Mount Hood is friggin' gorgeous, near Portland. It is cold, wet, and rainy, but a lot of folks like that. So now we're gonna head over to Eugene, Oregon, where this is a really interesting permanent tiny home situation. Square One Villages. And this group of people are creating a permanent tiny home situation for folks to buy into this co-op via a membership. So if you already own your tiny home, this is probably not for you, because these are permanent tiny homes, and unless you want to sell your tiny home and buy a membership to be a part of this co-op here, then you might want to skip forward. But for those of you interested in more of a permanent community kind of gathering situation, this is freaking rad. I was super excited to find this. So there are 2 current locations. One is in Eugene, Oregon. This is called the Emerald Village. And then the second is in Cottage Grove, which is close to Eugene, Oregon, just headed south. And that's called the Cottage Village. They do have 2 more locations in the works. And like I was saying, they are permanent tiny homes, and you do have to buy into a membership in order to live into the community. And I want to say that they're all, both of those villages, including the 2 other expansion villages, they are all currently building. So basically they're getting these donations from businesses all over Oregon to build these homes. And apparently they cost about $40,000 to build each of these very small homes. And then you come in and you're buying a membership. And basically you don't own the land or the home, but you own the membership, which gives you a say in kind of what's going on in the community, which I thought was super cool. The website does say that this is a really great opportunity for those that have low income and that want stable, quality, and safe housing. And you do need to realize that this is a co-op. So you have to be a sociable person. So if you're kind of like more recluse, this might not be an option, a good fit for you. But if you're into that like groovy community scene and you want to live next to, you know, like-minded folks, this would be super cool for you. Now, their rents are a little bit different. The one in Cottage Grove is $350 to $450 every month. And then the one in Eugene, Oregon is $200 to $300 a month. And I want to say that you also have to pay utilities, but for the houses and the photos that I saw, and they're all online, they are so cute. Like, I was really taken aback. They're very simple, but for the amount of money that you're spending, they're very legit. I love it. And the communities are super cute, and the newer communities that they're creating are even getting better, and they have like those extra amenities and whatnot. So I'm like, even for $450 a month plus utilities, and you have like your own, it's not an apartment situation, a townhouse situation, it is your own home with your own little yard. Super cute. I would definitely say go look into them. Okay, so what else is happening in Oregon? Okay, so Lakeview, Oregon, there is an RV park called Tall Town RV Park. And this is just basically an RV resort that now accepts tiny homes. They really nice people. I did speak to the manager there, and he basically just said, yeah, there's no certifications required. You know, just bring in your tiny home, make sure you got the registration. They didn't say anything about insurance, but they do want you to have, you know, a nicer tiny home, which is fair, totally, right? So that rent comes at about $600 a month, and that includes those same exact amenities. So the water, the sewer, the garbage, and then you pay for your electric. So $600 a month, not bad. Now we're gonna go over to Turner, Oregon, and this was actually in a Facebook forum from my last community. Somebody had reached out and said, hey, there's some sort of like enchanted forest, like tiny home village. And I was like, what? That's dope. Like, what is going on there? Now I couldn't find anything specifically related to an like something owned by the Enchanted Forest folks, and they're doing this tiny home community. But what I did find is the Hope Valley Resort. And these folks, you can't bring your own tiny home here, but they do sell the park model home. So those bigger tiny homes basically that you're really not traveling everywhere with, and they're more so on like that permanent foundation. The community looks really nice, and the prices are, they always fluctuate, but most of them are owned, if not all of them are owned. So for anybody in that area that is looking for a community that is more upscale and they have some very nice homes, I would definitely check them out. Okay, from Oregon, let's head over to Utah. Why not? So our neighbor, we're in Las Vegas, so our neighbor to the north, St. George, super cute town, also home to, what is it, Zion Tiny Oasis, that gorgeous tiny home vacation community that's really expensive but super cool. So I was thinking, okay, so if Zion Tiny Oasis can put together some sort of vacation, a short-term rental, there has to be somebody doing long-term stays. There has to be, and there is one person, one community. So this is called the Hillside Palms RV Resort, and they are a tiny home and an RV resort. So if you are looking for something more so permanent, you're still gonna see a bit of that transient behavior here just because it is also an RV resort. But I did speak to Angela at Hillside Palms RV Resort. Very nice lady. She let me know all sorts of information about, you know, the community and what they're trying to do there at the RV resort. And it just seems like a great place. And Utah, and St. George specifically, is a beautiful area. So yay. They do offer short-term and long-term parking there, and their rates are about $500 to $650 a month plus your power. And no certification needed. So I'm finding, which is so weird because 3 years ago, this was absolutely not the case. 4 years ago, yeah, it's 4 years ago. This was not the case when you were calling like RV resorts and manufactured home communities. It was all about, it was either a no or it was what certification does your tiny home have? And now what I'm finding are RV resorts, like good on you guys, are opening their mind to being more progressive to alternative forms of housing. And so for our DIY people, which hey, you can click the link above because I have that video for my DIY crowd that talks about how to finance your tiny home plus how to certify it. Now while this certification might not be relevant to going across the country and staying in certain places, it will be relevant for your resale. So I always say, certify it. If you're a DIYer, certify it. If you're having a builder, build it, certify it. Even if it's not going to be needed where you live, do it. Do it. Okay, that's it as far as Utah is concerned. I'm gonna hop over to Missouri, and we're gonna go to Westline, Missouri. Now this information does come from a Facebook page, and I did reach out to them to make sure that they were, you know, current and legit. And they most certainly are. I want to say they have 9 tiny homes on the property right now, and they do accept schoolies. And that was kind of something different that I hadn't heard before. You know, I wasn't asking because I'm literally just speaking about tiny homes on wheels, but the fact that they mentioned schoolies just kind of shows like they're open-minded, they're pretty groovy, and their rent every month is $450 a month. So it's definitely less expensive. Of course, as you head into the Midwest, life is a little less expensive than out here on the West Coast. And you know, from the Facebook pictures, it looks nice. I think they also might sell some tiny homes. So as always, I'll have all these links put together for you guys so you can go and check them out. I know we're headed all over the place. That's okay. We're in Georgia now. Here we go, Georgia. Okay, River's Edge Escape, and this place looks very nice. Their monthly rent is $375 to $525. You can lease or you can buy the parcel. So that's really cool. This place is in Menlo, Georgia. If I'm not saying that right, I apologize. And they do require one weird thing. They do require at least a 5-year minimum lease. Let me tell you why this isn't a bad thing. If you are a family and you don't want a bunch of people coming and going, this is sweet. Get to know the people that live around you. That's a thing we can do as humans. I know that a lot of us don't know our neighbors, but this is really cool. So I would definitely suggest looking at this. We did have one other place in Georgia that was mentioned in the previous video, but this place looks really cool. Plus the lease and buy options are fantastic, very affordable. I have 2 more places. So we're gonna stop over in Pennsylvania right now, Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. And this is a place called Tiny Estates. So this is a legit tiny home community, and they have all different size lots. They accept all different sizes of tiny homes. The setup is really nice. It's more of like that master plan setup, and it's not an RV resort. So these are true form tiny home enthusiasts. I'm not saying anything about folks living in RVs. It's just different. This place looks really nice. The rent goes from $625 to $750, and they have about those basic same amenities. So I would check that out if you are in the East Coast area, because honestly, I didn't find much on the East Coast. So also, if you are watching this and you know of a tiny home community that you think I should add, please leave it in the comments, send me an email, get at me on Facebook, like whatever. Just let's get all this information compiled and let's keep it up to date. That way, all of you wonderful tiny home enthusiasts can understand that this movement really is changing and people are really starting to open their eyes and normalize living in a tiny space. So yay. I have one more place for you guys, and I have to say I think I saved the best for last. We're headed to South Carolina now, to a place called Palmetto Grove, and it is in Alcolu, South Carolina. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. So that's where we're heading. Now, this is a master plan tiny home community. It looks beautiful. They will be able to take folks coming in spring 2021. So if you have plans of being in South Carolina or are looking to move to a more permanent location and you want, you know, to maybe own some land, and it's gorgeous. Like the pictures I saw, this looks like a wonderful place. So with this master plan community, they do want your home to be certified. They said a NOAA certification or RVIA certification will do just fine. And if your tiny home is not certified, they will need your electrical plans so an electrician can sign off on your unit, and you will have to go through an inspection process. So obviously they're just trying to keep everybody safe. I get it. There are rules to make this movement move. And we do have to, like, you guys, we got to lay some sort of foundation to, you know, how these units are built, just so everybody is safe. You can lease one of these tiny home parcels between $250 and $370 a month. Or you can own them, and the parcels range from about 20 grand all the way up to 90,000 depending on location, what amenities are in that specific area. And again, the parcels are gorgeous. It's fairly wooded. And then once you own them, you are paying between nothing and $95 a month. And they have some different things set up so you kind of choose what you need. But that is it. And I did speak with Justin, who I want to say he's the owner, and super groovy guy. He is in it to win it. He, just like us, they want to make this movement move, and they are totally doing so. So we really want to go visit Justin and his team at Palmetto Grove, maybe when, you know, the pandemic is, you know, lightened or whatever, and we can travel and go meet all these wonderful, beautiful people. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much, y'all, for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. And again, if you know some more communities, don't be bashful. Email me. Like, I'm a nice person. Just let me know. All I want to do is compile all this information in the same place, make that movement move. Now again, if you haven't seen the other video, go look in our video selection and check out the Tiny Home Communities one. Now, true to form, of course, I'm going to share right here. This is where you can find the PDF. And the PDF is going to have all of the information that you need to understand and know before you start calling and talking to places. It's a PDF chock full of tons of tiny home information, and then it breaks it down state by state. So if you're traveling across the country, or if you're relocating, this is a great tool for you. So go ahead and type this address into your browser and put in your email address, and I'll send you that PDF. Okay, anyway guys, as always, thank you. Without you, we most definitely I wouldn't be sitting here right now talking to a camera. So we just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in again, and as always, you know what to do. Keep it groovy.